Today we're going to change the controller mounting location on your T3 electric trike. The controller here is normally mounted behind the seat. If you move the seat into the furthest back position though, the controller will interfere with the back of the seat. We're going to use scissors to cut the zip ties today because that's a commonly available tool. And we've got some spare zip ties. When we relocate the controller, we can put it in a number of places. It doesn't matter where you have the controller as long as the cables are not being rubbed by the chain or the tire and the controller is somewhere out of the way. The easiest location I think today is going to be to mount it to the rear brace here of the seat. You could also put it under the boom tube down here, or you could put it on the seat stay or chain stay, but I think the best plan is to mount it to the rear brace of the seat. You just see that rear brace right back here, running right along the back of the seat frame. So the first thing we'll want to do is find our cables. We'll unplug the motor cable and leave that connector open. We'll carefully get our scissors in here and cut the zip ties without damaging the cable. If you're using scissors to cut zip ties, you'll need to wiggle the zip ties a little bit. Be careful of the paint on the bike frame and of the cables themselves. Get the scissors in, cut the zip tie. Now the motor cable is completely free. Next we'll do the battery cable up here if it's got a zip tie on it. If you happen to have a pair of side cutters or dikes or a razor blade, that can also be a good tool for doing this. Now the battery cable is free and unplugged from the battery. Next, we can unplug the pedal assist cable. That's this small one here. And we can follow the accessory cable forward. We'll need to cut the zip tie, bundling the accessory cable up. And a second zip tie. Now we can unplug the accessory cable. Now there are no zip ties securing any of the cables that are wired to the controller. So we can remove the controller from the down tube back here by cutting its zip ties off. Now that the controller has been removed, we can work on its new mounting location. I'm going to face the motor connector here towards the right-hand drive side of the bike so that I can be sure to hook it up there. And I'm just going to hold the controller up and see if it looks like everything is going to fit. I'm pushing on the seat to see if my back is going to hit the controller when I'm sitting on it, since the controller is now located just inside the seat mesh there. Looks like that's all right. So I'm going to take the controller down now that I know it's going to fit in my new location, and I'm going to move the seat to its ideal position. Seat up. And now I've moved the seat back. Tighten the seat up. Now, I'm going to see if I can position the controller and secure it in place. For now, while I'm working, I'm going to undo these straps so that I can reach inside the seat mesh. I'm going to take a pair of zip ties and start by securing the controller to the rear of the seat frame here. Okay, now the controller is mounted on the seat frame, and I'm going to sit on the bike and see if my back is interfering with the controller, and it's not at all, and I don't even have the clips on yet. So now I can run the motor cable down here and plug it into the motor. I'm going to line up the two arrows before I plug it in. Then I'm going to plug it in all the way until it meets the horizontal line. Now I'm going to put just one zip tie in here carefully to keep the motor cable out of the way. Now I'm going to get the pedal assist, and I'm going to plug that in. You may come into a situation where the pedal assist cable doesn't reach. That will depend on the length of your boom up front. If you do not have enough length for the pedal assist cable to reach, you'll need to contact us and get an extension cable. But for normal boom lengths, the pedal assist will usually reach in this location up here just fine. The next cable is the accessory cable, and I'm going to run that up the frame here and plug it in to the controller. Once I have it plugged in, I'm going to take the extra cable down here, and I'm going to pull it out and fold it into 4 pieces. And once it's folded, now I'm not bundling it tightly, I'm just trying to take the excess and put it away neatly. Once I've got it, I'll zip tie it in place. You'll notice that my zip tie down here is running between the derailleur cable, the rear derailleur cable, and the frame. I'm not putting the zip tie on top of the rear derailleur cable because that would pinch it and prevent the rear derailleur cable from moving freely. Instead, I'm going between the frame and the cable so that I won't interfere with it. Now that I've got that in place, I can take the battery cable and I can run the battery cable back to the battery, unplug it in, and then I can reconnect the buckles on the back of the seat. May help to take the Velcro off and loosen the buckle slightly before you plug it in, and then reconnect it, tighten it up, and then reconnect the Velcro after. You want the seat to be fairly tight so that it gives you good support. Once you have the seat reconnected, you can carefully cut the excess off of your zip ties. Again, you want to avoid scratching the frame or cutting any of the cables, or just cutting the ends off of the zip ties. And keep in mind, if you're able to put the scissors in all the way, you have more leverage for cutting than if you're trying to cut on just the tip. So now your T3 should be ready to go in the new seat position. Thank you.